All right, 6:12. Good morning. It is First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Unfortunately, Bill is under the weather. Some of this late mix of warm then cold that we see in the fall and the spring seems to have bitten Mr. Keeler. So Bill will not be joining us this morning. As I said, he is under the weather. Christine Bellino in studio, and Andrew is in his news booth, not his news book. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I wasn't ready for this weather to be back, even though we reported that it was going to happen all last week.
Well, it's one of those things where I guess you never really know, but I know parts of the area got, in fact, somebody in this building put up a picture on Facebook with a ruler on the picnic table. It was like 9.5 inches.
Wow, we only got about 4 where I am.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about this morning. I think we only got another inch, but where I am, we only got an inch yesterday too.
Really?
So it was funny to see there was varying snow totals, which will happen, because the storm will hit you or it'll miss you. And at this time of year, apparently we got hit with an first weekend of April snowstorm, and it's led to some school closings and delays.
That's right. And we'll keep that list up to date for you all morning. So that ever-growing list is at WIBX950.com and on our Facebook page.
And what is discouraging as well, Christine, is that we have a winter weather advisory until 2, but the forecast for the next several days doesn't look that much better. Looking at highs today, 34, 33 tomorrow, 42 Wednesday, mid-40s Thursday, mid-30s on Friday.
With a chance of snow again.
So I guess spring came early, but winter's still lingering a bit. As I look more at the extended forecast, I do see some 50s in there, but we're talking early next week. So
this is no good.
Yeah, it's kind of discouraging. A big story in the Utica Observer-Dispatch yesterday about the hospital. The hospital will go downtown. We'll talk more about that coming up this morning. We'll take your phone calls as well. Syracuse. Let's talk some Syracuse. Andrew, I didn't know if you'd make it in today with the defeat on Saturday night.
Well, actually, it was pretty easy for me to I can't believe I'm about to confess this, but, hold on. I got to go answer this phone. Excuse me.
Okay. That's Andrew, school closings and delays. He's a little, listen, the phone rings 85 times in 60 seconds, so it gets a little frustrating.
So it was great to see the Syracuse women. They're headed to the championships on Tuesday, right? They're going to face UConn.
So it's interesting. I guess my question is, do you root for Syracuse or do you root for UConn? Because Brianna Stewart is from Cicero North Syracuse High School. They've already won, the last 3 years. She's been on 3 championship teams. This would be their 4th championship. But do you root for the local girl to win another one, or do you root for the Syracuse team? I've got to check the Syracuse roster and find out how many of those girls, those young women, are locals.
If you vote against, root against Syracuse University, I think you're going to have some splaining to do with the local folk.
Well, again, I'm a fan of, and I have to differentiate. I'm a fan of the men's team. I follow the men's team. I'm not too familiar with the women, but if there's a local on the team, would I rather see the local girl win? Or would you
rather see a whole bunch of local girls win?
Well, they're not necessarily local, though.
True.
They're going to school
but it's
here.
It's the team. It's your team.
Syracuse women's basketball. I wonder how many of these girls are from.
Does it matter? It's the local team.
Yeah, but it's the local college team, so there might not be that many girls who are local. All right, hang on. Let's see. Columbus, Ohio. Northern Secondary. Hang on. Andrew's got an update here on school closings and delays. Hey.
Not just that. We'll give you the full rundown. But, the argument for having a local girl on an opposing team is not a good one. You have to root for the home college team. That's like saying if, somebody from, Jamesville, DeWitt, or New Hartford is playing for Duke, you're going to root for the men's team, I'm saying. You're going to root for Duke because let's say, that's not a good example because they're not in it either. But let's say we had one. No, it's a good
example.
And, let's say Duke and Syracuse were in a national championship sometime, and you say, this guy is from New Hartford and he's on Duke. Are you going to root for Duke just because that one kid?
No, but again, I feel like I have an affiliation with the team. I follow them all year long. I buy tickets. I watch every game.
Okay.
I guess.
But because this is the women's team, you're more.
I don't follow the team. I don't know who they are. I don't have a tie with the players. And again, if it's a local girl, here's my question, 7360186. Would you rather see a girl who grew up in Central New York, went to high school locally, win, and again, this I think distorts the point I'm trying to make. Would you like to see her win her 4th national championship? If it was her first, I think the argument is, I think it's a stronger argument for what I was saying. But now this would be her 4th national championship, Brianna Stewart. Or would you rather see the local college team that has, like, I'm looking here at the roster. We got Raleigh, North Carolina. You have
Rochester. You have Syracuse.
There's I think 1 or 2 Syracuse women on the team. Do you see it here?
I see Cherish Cobb is from Syracuse, and Savannah Crecchetti is from Rochester.
There's one from Rochester, which isn't really that local. And then Brandy Fowler was the other one who went to Corcoran. So there are two local girls. Okay, I'll root for the Syracuse women tonight.
I'm glad we decided that.
Well,
seriously, Andrew, right?
To me, it's a whole different thing.
It's another thing, too. I'm sorry to cut you off, Christine, but it's another thing, too, if UConn hadn't won a million national championships.
It is.
Give this Syracuse team a chance.
I just think this is because it's a women's basketball team.
But that what?
Would you root for a member of a team in the AHL that was going against the Utica Comets because of the fact that one of their players was from Utica?
I might.
Really?
I might.
Oh, my goodness.
If Mike Selesky, for example, plays for the Utica Comets, so it's different. But if he was playing for, I don't know, let me just name another team.
Yeah, if he was playing for the Crunch.
The Crunch is difficult. There's a rivalry there.
Yeah.
All right, let's say he's playing for the Rochester Americans, and it's a chance for the local kid to be successful.
Versus the whole local team?
But they're not from here.
Monaski. I can't even believe we're having this discussion.
7360186 if you want to weigh in on this. Now, just to be clear, I will root for the Syracuse women tonight. There are 2 young ladies on the team who are from the Central New York area. There's a girl from Rochester, and then she went to, I missed it here. Cherish Cobb is from went to Nottingham. She's from Syracuse. And there's Brandy Fowler, who went to Corcoran. Is this a call on what we're talking about? Wayne is on the line, 7360186. This is Wayne, I apologize. I had you on hold there for a minute. I thought Andrew hits the button, but I hit the button. What's going on, Wayne?
What's going on, fellas and Gail?
Well, so what do you think, Wayne? Are you rooting for the Syracuse women?
I'm gonna root for Syracuse, even though it's a lost cause. You can even have now. You don't even have to have JoJo call in. He's going to tell you straight up that Connecticut is going to probably bury them and embarrass them. But I'll root for them. But it's just like rooting for the underdog that you know is going to get the hell beat out of them.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. UConn, by the way, for those who don't know much about women's basketball, UConn since the year 2000. This is their 10th appearance. They have a chance to win their 10th national championship since the year 2000. In 16 years, they've won 9. Gino Auriemma obviously is like the god of women's college basketball coaching. Brianna Stewart is obviously a standout player. She has a chance to win her 4th national championship. The game is tonight. Wayne, there was an Elite 8 game earlier in this bracket for the women. An Elite 8 game, they won by 60 points. That's incredible.
Yeah, and the thing about it is Syracuse, just like the men's team, is just going to be happy that they got to be happy that they just got to the dance. That's it. To the finals. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wayne, do you hear what I'm saying, though, about the women?
Oh, I feel you.
The women versus the – well, see, I think – would you rather see the
really?
local
You're
person
just being
win?
nice to Monaski.
I like Jeff. He's got a baby.
Thank you, Wayne.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
So that means I'm chopped liver, I guess. Andrew, he's got no babies.
Your kids are grown up, though. They're close to grown up.
They're not close to grown up. They're still in bubble wrap.
They're in bubble wrap.
Oh,
going
God.
30, though.
They will, yeah.
Until they're 80.
Christine will be very protective. She is.
I know what you're saying, though. You're saying that if you got a girl from the area that's on the team, you kind of pull for the team?
Yeah.
Now,
even if they're not facing,
if they're
not facing the other team, I can understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I could see it. Because, again, I don't have a tie. Like, okay, so here's Will Smith went to Proctor, right? So if Will Smith is in the Super Bowl and he's playing the Jets, which I don't have any affiliation with the Jets, my team's the Giants, would I rather see the New York team win or would I like to see the Proctor kid win? I'd like to see the Proctor kid win.
Well, that's a different story. That's a
Here's
different
another thing.
different?
Here's another thing. I'd like
It
to
is
see
a different thing.
them personally do good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe not to see the team win against our home team, but I'd like to see them personally do good.
Okay, you've redeemed yourself, Wayne.
Okay.
I like that.
7360186. Hey, what's that, Wayne?
Have a good day, guys.
You too.
Drive safely.
Yeah, be careful out there, Wayne. 7360186. Stefan is on the line. Good morning, Stefan.
Good morning, Jeff and guys. Say, get out of the area with Mike Zaleski. Say, if he was on the Hershey Bears down in Pennsylvania, would you root for the Hershey Bears or the Utica Comets?
Depends on how much chocolate was involved, I guess.
Stefan, the traitor would then vote for the Hershey Bears.
I'll say this, though. It's different because, again, I feel like I have a tie to the Comets. You know what I mean? I feel like I root for the Comets. I cheer for the Comets. The Comets, if you know, they're the local team, but they're also my team.
So what this comes down to,
I guess
I'm trying to put this
example.
into perspective for people who aren't trying to understand Jeff here. What Jeff's trying to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, is because you do not, and I guess I can kind of see this. Just because it's the Syracuse women doesn't mean it's your team,
Right.
because you don't follow them.
Because he has an affinity for the Syracuse University men's basketball team, but he doesn't have any connection with the Syracuse University women's basketball team.
So what you're saying is, when you break it down, it's not like you were rooting for this team for forever, and now you're going to be rooting against them just because of a local. I guess I can kind of see it, but
I watched 3 minutes of the game last night. I actually watched more of the UConn game to watch Breanna Stewart, but national championship game, the Syracuse women, first time ever they're there. And they'll take on UConn, a powerhouse in women's college hoops. As I mentioned, they've won 9 national championships since the year 2000, and they've won the last 3. So they're playing in their 4th consecutive national championship. That is coming up tomorrow night. Tonight's national championship, can we talk about the men for a minute here?
What I was going to say, and I was kind of saved by the bell of the school closings and delays, but I can't believe I'm about to confess this, but my buddy's stag party was Saturday. So I had a broadcast out in Chittenango, and I drove. I hadn't eaten all day, and I drove out to Chittenango and back, and I joined the party in progress. And we went to one place, and I was fine. And then we went to another, and then I was not so fine. I think I was asleep by 7:30. Completely missed the game.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And I woke up the next morning, and I saw the score, and I probably saved myself some property damage from falling asleep.
Yeah, well, you might have.
So, I call me a terrible fan, but I'm a big fan of my buddy. I'm his best man, and it was this stag party, and we let loose a little. And
But you went to bed at 7:30. How loose did you get?
Pretty. So we started off at the Celtic.
It was an afternoon stag party?
Yeah, it started at 2.
Oh,
so I got to
okay.
the Harp about 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And I don't want anybody to think negatively about me. I don't drink that often. I think.
Well, you didn't organize the afternoon drinking session, did you? I mean,
no,
this was a
I had
party
some
you were
hand in
invited
it.
to.
Yeah, well, I had some hand in it, but it was mostly my buddy's father who put it on. But we went to the Harp. I think it was because I didn't eat until I hadn't eaten all day. I got to the party and I had a little bit, and then I was just, I had UCs and more UCs. So then after we were at the Harp and the party wrapped up, we went over to the new Saranac 1888 Tavern. And so they have
nice
some heavier.
Right?
It's very nice in there, and I'm very excited that they're open to the public now for more than just at the end of the brewery tour. But I ended up, and those are strong beers. There's not much time from when they make it till they put it in that draft, in those kegs there at the brewery. So it was pretty fresh, and I fell asleep at about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Completely missed the game.
All right, 7360186. If you want to weigh in on the men or the women. We'll talk some Comets hockey as well. We might save that for next hour or the 8 o'clock hour. There's a lot of other things to get into. The hospital, $15 an hour minimum wage. You can weigh in on that. I know we talked a lot about that on Friday. And then I think there was a huge fight this weekend right on the city limit there, right? Utica, Yorkville area. If you've got details on that, there was a video I saw on Facebook last night. But there was a huge fight, I believe. We'll talk more about that coming up as well. Christine's got a news update coming up in right after this commercial break. It's First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.